Welcome to our first ever Humanity Day. My name is Arnold. Some people know me as Reverend Dr. Murray. Today I'm Arnold. I'm part Cherokee, a native Washingtonian, and fourth generation spiritual leader. We invite you to celebrate humanity with us and continue in the days to come, continue celebrating humanity. We have members of the I Am Humanity team live with us today. You'll be hearing from them. We have breakout sessions. We have a surprise live guest, I understand, and a number of great videos to share with you. The mission, and we request that you choose to accept it, is celebrate our collective future together as humanity. Our vision, shaping the future of humanity through the celebration of our collective commonalities and sharing our unique gifts, leading to a unified world. Values, transformation, respect, humanity, inclusivity, and empowerment. Allow me to introduce Susan Hoskins, Executive Director of I Am Humanity. Susan, are you ready?
I am. I'm ready. I've been ready. My goodness. Oh my gosh, this is so exciting. I really I'm just so excited to be here. We've been planning this for a long time. I just want to thank you for being here to celebrate the first ever Humanity Day. I want to give you a little bit of a background. What we're after is to share and shift a global conversation from one of I am an individual to one that I'm an aspect of all of humanity. Thank you for everything that it took for you to be here and for you to come here to celebrate humanity. Humanity is such an important space for us to celebrate together, that interconnectedness, that aspect of us that is in common with all others. To pick one day out of the year to actually celebrate humanity together. Just for a moment, think about what it would be like if we had everyone celebrating humanity together. You know, what would that be like? That feeling of connection, that feeling of aliveness that you get. You know, you can feel it in your heart. You can feel it in your body. And the best way, I think, to describe or to present the I Am Humanity organization, which is hosting Humanity Day, is to present a video that we put together that is about 5 minutes long. You ready? All right. So we're going to show you what other people think I Am Humanity is all about.
It's the celebration of being alive. I'm pretty fully self-expressed. And that just feels so awesome. I want that for everybody.
I Am Humanity is just the realization that we are all connected to the same substance. We are all the same. Everything is alive, and it's all connection.
Welcome to I Am Humanity.
Our purpose is that you experience and internalize a shift in who you are and who you are for future generations, and a shift around the possibility that the flourishing of humanity is happening now, not someday in the future, but now.
I Am Humanity. It's an ongoing inquiry that steps me out of my identity and into future generations, past generations, the current generations.
You know, your humanity and my humanity become one humanity.
Just connecting to the universe. You're connecting to the source you've come from.
I in humanity. It comes locally with ourselves, but like God, God's everywhere.
All 7 billion of us and growing is united as one.
Seek connectedness with humanity in the world and everyone.
Being alive and being human.
I am the microcosm of what humanity is.
A shared destiny.
So humanity is relationship. So when we're in relationship, there's a possibility of things flourishing.
Knowing there's another side of the world and knowing that I was already connected.
There is a connection between me and humanity.
It's just this connection.
We know that we can see ourselves from another level.
So for me, flourishing for humanity lives more in getting everyone off the couch and lit up about making a difference. That's the flourishing. Engagement is part of the flourishing.
Flourishing of humanity to me means all of humanity. It finds joy, very little struggle, and resources at their fingertips.
Humanity means that I am all of us, not just human beings, but all of it, the nature, the earth, the universe, like I am, and we are all of it. It's expansive.
Where we're moving from survival to creation.
Shift the paradigm from the flourishing of nations to the flourishing of humanity.
What an extraordinary moment to bring the fulfillment of flourishing in economics, the fulfillment of like that, to bring that now.
You know, humanity is being called to integrate back into nature.
Myself for humanity, for the greater good.
So like the connection, the spirit of who you are shows up and then is recognized and embraced in humanity, I think.
You can find it in the present moment, you know, and I'm very present to the sacredness and the beauty.
That we have a sense of like, what an extraordinary time this is.
And it's really exciting. It's an exciting time to be alive. And it's an honor to be alive at this time.
The flourishing of humanity is happening now in our lifetime. Like it is possible.
To be so moved by the possibility in our lifetime of all of this, like that it's a done deal, right? Like
awesome. It leaves me present to the possibility of humanity flourishing, which I really am taking away with me. The idea of humanity flourishing, I am humanity, is beautiful.
But I Am Humanity, it says it so well.
Let's play and let's make a difference together. Yeah, I Am Humanity is a player, and part of the player is bringing in more players.
What I've gotten out of engaging with I Am Humanity, and I'll put my I Am Humanity hat on, because no matter who I talk to, coming from I Am Humanity, they want to play.
So that gives you a sense of I Am Humanity. So the organization is a nonprofit organization. We're hosting Humanity Day. You know, it's really fun as we're expanding the conversation. And one of the things that I noticed when we came up with, we landed on the idea of what about a Humanity Day, and that we could do it from like, so we have an Earth Day, but what about a Humanity Day about 6 months after that? What would that be like? And when I started interviewing people, I discovered that people really love the idea. Like there's a humanitarian day, but there is can you imagine? There is absolutely no humanity day. And so this is the very first ever. To honor the people who helped coordinate this event, we have another video that I want to show you. And it has 3 different people in it. And one is our team player, Cameron Black, who in Stanford today. And so he sent a video instead, and he sends his love for today. We also have Ilyana from Israel, who is giving us the perspective, the more global perspective. And she comes from an organization called Heart of the People. And then we have a person who represents the indigenous people, who will give us a feeling of the heart and spirit that is so important for all of us.
Hi, everybody. My name is Cameron Black. I'm here today to express to you what humanity means to us as we are envisioning and stepping into action for a workable future for the human race. This is a world where we can spread our wings, thrive, and become a unified front in the face of our current global challenges. We look forward to many lifetimes of celebrating humanity, of celebrating you and your unique and necessary contributions to and participation in humanity. We are the future. No help is coming from anywhere else. This is it. This is where we make our stand for each other, where we make our stand for humanity.
So my name is Ilana, and I'm from Israel, and I'm from an organization that called Art of the People. And I think that the Humanity Day is so important. We must to be together. We must unite everybody from all over the countries, from all over the religion, and understand that we are one. And if we are humanity together, everybody, we can make the change, we can live, and I believe that this is the way to make the change.
And my name is David Manning, and I am a citizen of the Nulhegan Band of the Coosac Abenaki Nation. The Abenaki, recognize spirit in every living thing, and they honor the trees, the foliage, whether it's our four-legged cousins, the animals, the bees, the birds, everything. Humanity Day being, an expansion of that, connecting with all of humanity, all around this globe, and humanity having that kind of a connection with each other of living life together as one on this planet, taking that love and that connection out into the world, be able to get my arms around the entire planet.
Well, thank you. So that gives you a sense of that this is a global concept, right? Humanity Day. And I'm just so excited that you're here and that we're exploring, what it will take to create and expand this conversation throughout the world. And in order to do that, we are going to get related. Now, first of all, I would love to introduce Peter Fiekowsky, the president of I Am Humanity. There's many things I can say about Peter. One is he's brilliant. He has 29 patents. He, is from MIT. He is a serial entrepreneur. But one of the things I want to say in particular is that he wants to start a whole field, a body of knowledge around humanity. You can go to school and get a college degree in the humanities, but there isn't anything about humanity. We're just beginning to hear and acknowledge ourselves for, we normally can we're individual and then, family and then society and the world. And then we get up to the level of nations, but there's actually beyond that, there's humanity. And you could hear it starting, right? Like you can hear it around you, that there's this edge of humanity coming alive, right? Just really alive. And to think about having a body of knowledge of what would it be like to live in a world where we identify ourselves as humanity. And I am just totally honored, so delighted that we have Peter Fiekowsky here, who's going to introduce the next part and some of our partners. So, Peter.
There we go. So, Susan, thank you so much. And everybody, thank you for coming this afternoon and evening. And it's a privilege to have a large group like this. When I started this conversation with Julia Dieterer about 5 years ago, we weren't quite sure what we wanted, but this is a solution to a problem. But it's a whole field. The problem was that we'd been working for many years on restoring the climate and actually getting the United Nations aligned, getting Congress aligned for the goal of actually giving our children the climate that humans have survived. It's a no-brainer, right? Of course we want to give our children a climate that humans have survived long term, but it had never been discussed. And in a similar way, people talk about population, and we created the notion of a sustainable population. It's actually never been discussed. A stable population has been discussed, but no one ever considered making it sustainable. And so I was wondering, and Julia was wondering, why does it look like we're inventing something brand new? And here's what I discovered is that for the history of man, actually since the history of probably most mammals or animals, that we've been having to defend our tribes, defend our nations, and anyone whose DNA didn't have them defend their tribe got defeated by the neighboring tribe. So we're very strong at defending ourselves. And it worked well for millions of years. Well, as you know, we're on the verge of various collapses right now, and it's not working. And there's a change is happening. When I was discussing this with Susan this afternoon, she was saying, well, the UN had the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. That's really talking about humanity. And it was a crack in the door where we have gone from being a bunch of nations to one humanity. That our culture is global, our media is global, we travel globally, Hollywood and Bollywood, it's all global. We're actually one nation. And it used to be that when a nation fell, when the Roman Empire fell, another nation took its place. Well, when humanity falls, well, I guess the cockroaches will take our place, but that's not a game that we want to play. So I Am Humanity is creating a whole new epic for humanity. And Yeah, a lot of things have led up to it. Susan mentioned Earth Day. We've had Earth Day for 50 years. Now, the good news is Earth is going to keep orbiting the sun for many billions of years. So Earth is not at risk anymore. I don't know if it was at risk in 1970, but it's definitely not at risk now. Humanity is at risk, with our ecosystem collapses, our population 10 times higher than was stable, and so on. The oceans depleted. All of these are fixable. So read my book when you want to address that issue. So the evolution to I Am Humanity, as I said in my little video, I have a hat, my I Am Humanity hat, and I don't have my San Jose Giants hat with me here, but you can imagine it. Sometimes when I go to the San Jose Giants game, I can be a Giants fan. It's not that difficult to take on a new way of being. And so we're now together creating, what does it mean? Like, what do we want the agendas to be for humanity? And that's why we all called you here for the next many years. So part of the process getting here was work that I did with Kate Maloney. You saw her on the previous film. And she put together a film called We Rise Up, and we'll show a few minutes of that. And we're bringing that as part of the evolution to looking at who I am as part of all of humanity. At the same time, I'm American, I'm a physicist. Anyone who knows me knows I'm a physicist. I'm Jewish. We have all these identities which are not conflicting, right? There's no conflict. Being I Am Humanity does not conflict with anything else, but it's necessary for the first time in the history of our planet. And it looks like we're the ones who are called to create it. Okay, Arnold, will you play We Rise Up?
You chose to be here during this time, which seems like the best of times and the worst of times, where the old is breaking up and the new is emerging and there's so much going on. You chose to be here. This is the time for you and I to rise up and become the next great expression of our uniqueness, collaborating with each other in such a way that life renews itself through us. That's what we're up to. It's a whole new model of success. You know you want to be a part of it. In your soul, you wouldn't even be looking at this if it wasn't calling for you, calling something from you. Rise up with us. It's time.
We live in a world of outrageous pain. We are challenged by extinction-level problems, and everywhere we look, we see unbearable suffering. In the face of this outrageous pain, we close our hearts. We also live in a world of outrageous beauty. Every day, we see acts of kindness, generosity, courage, and creation. We are living in an extraordinary time when a small group can make a difference in the lives of 1 billion people.
We live in a world of limited resources. We live in a world that there are many challenges and problems.
If we don't do something, there's a question about whether the species may survive.
Awareness is not enough. Action is required.
There's so much energy when there's something bigger than yourself to serve.
I really, really believe that every one of us has some sort of special gift to give.
You have to find where you fit, where your uniqueness has something to offer that somebody might need.
It is what only I can do according to my uniqueness, that no one else can do exactly like me.
I'll never forget having to make that choice. I can take the safe path, or I can follow the path of my soul.
Just by being who we authentically are, it creates ripples in anybody and everybody who comes in our path, and it changes them.
Whenever we follow our authentic path, the universe rises to support us in ways that we cannot imagine.
When you find your calling and you say yes to it, you're saying yes to the indwelling God.
We stand at the tipping point of a new future.
The choices you and I make will impact the future of life for the next 1,000 years. Rather than that being a burden, it gives us the opportunity to live the most meaningful lives any generation of humankind has ever lived.
We can destroy ourselves, or we can create a whole new world.
All around us, people are rising up, taking matters into their own hands, committing acts of outrageous love, and daring to reshape the world. We are creating the future we want, a world that works for everyone. We are evolving the source code of evolution. Now the question is, what will you do?
So I want to start we're going to do a little exercise with everybody. So I'll introduce my colleague, Julia Dieter. I've known Julia for a long time, more decades than I can count. Julia's taught me a lot, and she's been really side by side with me in our work towards restoring the climate, restoring the population, and developing this new field of I am humanity. And so Julia, thank you for being here, and please say a few words.
Yeah, well, it's my honor to be here at the launching of I Am Humanity Day. And really my function right now is something that I've been doing for almost 50 years, setting up breakout sessions. So that's what we're going to have right now, is an opportunity for everybody here to be in communication. And Peter and I crafted this very simple exercise a couple of years ago, and tried it out twice at the conference, the Landmark Conference for Global Transformation. And I want to say personally, for myself, this little exercise completely changed my access to all of it. And it's so deceptively simple. It's like, nah, that can't happen. But it did. And here's how the exercise go. There are going to be groups of 3. You'll be in a breakout room with strangers or friends or whomever, and you're only going to get about how many minutes, Peter?
We have for this, I'm sorry. We have a total of 6 minutes. So
6 minutes. So, there's 3 of you, but here's what you do. One person selects themselves and says, I'll be the speaker, the first speaker. And then I say to the people listening to me, I want to get myself in my body first before I say it. And then I look at them and be with them, and they're looking at me being with me. And I say, I am humanity. And then I take a moment just to see what was that like to kind of be with I am humanity. And then you move to the next person who does the same. Take a quiet moment, gather yourself, and then say to your 2 people, I am humanity. And then the third person. Now the listeners, what your job is to do is just listen. But as soon as they're finished, as soon as someone has said that, both of you just say thank you. Thank you. So the person gets that they're gotten. And I would recommend you do 2 rounds of that. And you've got plenty of time. And is it 8 minutes again, Peter?
6 minutes.
6 minutes. You got plenty of time. And then go around the room and share what that was like, speaking it and also listening it from the other person. So it couldn't be more simple. Have fun with it, and also just probably take a round and say, I'm Julia, I live in Campbell, California. I'm Peter, I live in Los Altos, California. Do that and then start the exercise. You know, don't go into an extensive conversation. All right, Arnold, are we ready?
We'll see you in 6 minutes.
See you on the other side. Have fun.
Got to meet Laurel from Ohio. We had a nice little connection. We had a moment of feeling completely connected. It was a moment, but we definitely felt fully connected.
It's great.
Here we are, starting to come back. All right. Welcome back, folks. Welcome back. I'm going to mute it. Welcome back.
Hey, everyone's back.
Yay.
Arnold, is everybody back?
Yes, it looks like everyone is back.
Great. My name is Eduardo, and I'm in Madison, Wisconsin. And when I got connected, I was already related to the 3 people that were in my breakout room, even though I had never talked to them before. Everything from we talked about 8th cousins, a neat ride to just discover that.
Great, thank you. Diane. Hi, Diane.
Hi. I've lately been feeling like I really want a foundation for climate restoration to go. And there's a part of me that's like, it's not a fit for who I am, but if this is connected, it's a fit. So I'm just really looking forward to hearing more.
Great.
That's it.
Thanks. Molly. Hi, Molly.
Years ago, I was active in an organization called Beyond War, and the theme was "We Are One." And I took that theme into my soul and tried to make it my mantra for living my life that way. And this pulls me very much to that same feeling of being the space in which all life exists. And it pulls me to be love versus the judgmental thinking person that I can be in a moment. So it's just very inviting to step into this. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. That's great, Molly. Suzanne.
I think Julia kind of set me up. And as I felt, I was happy to be with somebody I knew in the exchange. And I just felt really grounded, and the connection between us all, like how the trees and their roots are all connected underground. And it's like one gigantic planet. I could really feel into that. So thank you. That was a gift. I'm not sure I've ever felt that in that same way.
Yeah,
thank you.
Isn't it beautiful how simple it is? And there it is. Yeah, thank you. Melanie, hi.
Hi, thank you. You know, we had the opportunity to go around a few extra times. And what really occurs for me in this conversation is each time it just seemed to resonate more and more with who I am. I was with people I have never met before. And it's so simple of a shift and an understanding of who we are. And when Peter was sharing, I am, I'm an American, I'm a physicist, I'm Jewish, all of these things, how seldom we ever think I am humanity. So lovely, thrilled to be part of humanity with you.
That's great. And Melanie, it's a new invention. It's really weird, just like restoring the climate is a new invention. creating a being of humanity. It's never been needed before. It's always been sufficient to be part of our nation. Great. Thank you, Melanie. Rocio?
Yeah, I was like present that it was like this umbrella identity. So I was able to just, the person in front of me, they were humanity like I was. And so everything else disappeared in that moment. And it was really magical to be able to do that. And I'm present that it was a total creation, but it's possible. It was right there. And it's very exciting. And what a timely conversation. Anyways, I have chills just from the exercise.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow. Now we're going to pass it back to.
Yay! This is so great. I love that. And when you said chills, I just absolutely love chills. So
I want to note that it's 100 degrees out here in Los Altos where we live.
So this part of the evening, we are entering into a section where we're going to discover and talk about the Planetary Citizens Handbook, a journey from separation to interconnectedness, written by Joan Holmes. Now, we had intended for her to be here with us today, and she is not able to make it at this moment. So she specifically asked Jan Solomon to be here in her stead. Now, Jan Solomon has been working with the Hunger Project in many different capacities since 1978. And for the last year and a half, she has been a committed listener to Joan in developing this handbook, the Planetary Citizens Handbook. Again, the journey up from separation to interconnectedness. And Jan listens for the message to emerge so that it can be shared with all of us. So she's very seeped in the distinctions of what Joan Holmes wanted to introduce to you and everyone this evening. And the other person who's going to join her is Julia Dieterer. And I just wanted to underscore, Julia has many hats and has been, with us in Landmark for about 28 years, for many years was teaching or training people in the wisdom division. And she started as an activist 48 years ago with the Hunger Project also. And currently is the Director of Organizational Development for the Foundation for Climate Restoration, for the Methane Action, Stable Planet Alliance, and the co-founder of I Am Humanity. And she has given her life over to the flourishing of future generations and humanity itself. So take it away, Jan.
Thank you so much. At first, I just wanted to say the sharing was so beautiful. And one of the things I noticed was, as I said it, I actually felt it go deeper in myself. I am humanity, to where my voice was actually coming from a deeper place in my body. It was really beautiful. And the three of us, three women, the J girls, Jan, Janet, and Jerry, we so connected, even though one was West Coast, one was Middle, and one was East Coast. That connection happened so fast. I know Susan talked about that early on. Okay, I know some of you are disappointed. I'm not Joan Holmes, but I'm just thrilled to be here. And Joan sends her love to each and every one of you, and she congratulates I Am Humanity and the first ever, as you said, Susan, the first ever Humanity Day. And it also coincides with the release this month of the Planetary Citizens Handbook. So I want to just ask Julia, she and I are sharing the stage in this segment, and see if she has some opening remarks for you before I speak about the handbook.
First of all, thank you, Jan. I've known you for a long time, and you have committed yourself to being at the essence of the Hunger Project. The other thing is that I got something from Sam Daly Harris a few days ago. He said there are a lot of people that are going to be in this call that we do who have deep roots in the Hunger Project and branches way out into the world. And I just wanted to acknowledge that there's just the years of commitment that's expressed right here. And the one thing I said to Joan a few days ago when I talked to her was, you know, I read the handbook and I thought, oh my God, this seems like a heavy lift. And then I thought about the shifts in seemingly intractable mindsets that the Hunger Project, Joan Holmes, has introduced and that the Hunger Project has brought into being. And I thought, don't bet against us. We can do this. So I just want to say I'm very in touch with, we do this. This is our expertise.
Great. Thank you, Julia. I'm really honored to be here at this time of great transformation. We've already talked about that on this call already, and just grateful to be alive. And, you know, Joan, even though she couldn't be here and she asked me to come, but not to represent her. She was specific about that. She asked me to represent the message of the Planetary Citizens Handbook. It's called A Journey from Separation to Interconnectedness. And that is a message of love and peace and the recognition that we are all interconnected. And what does that make possible for humanity and the natural world? The Planetary Citizens Handbook, it asks us one thing. It asks us to suspend what we know and step into an inquiry of who are we now? Who do we need to be to experience that we are all one, that we're all interconnected with each other and the planet? And Joan says the handbook was authored by all of us. We've all been doing this work for such a long time, and it's offered to us to unveil this illusion of separation that we live in. I just want to tell you a little bit about my journey. I started working with Joan, as many people did, in April of 2020 was when she first began to develop this message. And yep, it was right in the beginning of the pandemic. And that was, in a way, an impetus to her to look at what is the portal now that's opened up to show us, if nothing can show us that we're interconnected than the pandemic, then nothing's going to be able to show us that. And when she started talking about it, I said, I'm in for this transformation. But I didn't know what that journey was going to be like from 2020 until now. And I looked at all the global issues we were facing at the time, and I thought I should be doing more. We should be doing more. And then I started to become aware, as she asked us to, in this inquiry, of my own separation. Where was I being divisive? Where was it in with my family? Was it in politics? Was it when I'm driving my car? Where was separation and that consciousness of separation living in me? I knew I had to go there. I knew that was what she was asking me to do. So I've remained in this inquiry about humanity and the planet all this time. And now I'm so acutely aware of when I'm being separate. But now I can step back, take a breath, and be grateful to live in the reality of we are interconnected. It's like a big you know. Joan told me one time on a call, I said, okay, I'm going to go out and I'm going to do being. I'm going to go work on this of being interconnectedness. And she said, you have always been being, and just be with that. That changed everything for me when she said that. So I just have to return to myself. We all have to return to ourselves. I want to just read some quotes from Joan to share with you since she couldn't be here. Joan recently said she was recounting her experience of writing the handbook, and she said, and after a little while, I realized that it wasn't mine to figure out what to say. My job was to be there and be alert enough to find out what wanted to be said that would be much greater than what I had to say. Then I read a quote from Albert Einstein, who said that the greatest human tragedy is the illusion of separation. And that was what I was looking for. So from that place of listening, of inquiry, of being, the Planetary Citizens Handbook was born. And it was a distinction she made of our current consciousness of separation. It's a separation with ourselves, with each other, and the natural world. And what Joan said, another quote from her, we aren't actually separated, but we've lived with a worldview of the illusion of being alone on the planet and having to fend for ourselves. The existence of I am humanity is an indication of this emerging consciousness of interconnectedness. So she asked the question, what kind of world did we create? But more importantly, what kind of world could we create? She shares that in the worldview of separation, the name of the game is think, do, think, do, think, do. And being was almost not recognized by any of us. But in order to get to interconnectedness, we have to access beingness in ourselves. It's a dimension of human consciousness that hasn't been in the forefront for 400 or 500 years. In Think Do, we recognize the policy was control and dominate. And thinking, whether you are thinking or thinking is thinking you, your mind was chattering all the time, thinking, doing. But beingness, which is so beautiful, is an entirely different quality. It's peaceful, it's loving, it's a source of compassion, and a source of empathy. Joan says it is interconnectedness. It is, in fact, existence itself. And that is inherent in when you say, I am humanity. So the ease with which we cause pain and suffering to ourselves, our friends, our colleagues, other people, and the planet, those days are diminishing. This is a new age. There is one humanity, and we are all one. Sometimes when you see a sunset, a painting, or a certain tree, for that moment, there's a great stillness in you. Your mind quiets, and what is present is the depth of beingness and a sense of wholeness and completion. Well, not that we completely lose think, do. We're experts at that. We can always do, but when we add human consciousness, the dimension of beingness, it transforms who we be. Stillness is unbelievably powerful. Just for a while to be still. I want to ask Julia to share an experience she had with Joan in Lincoln Center now.
It was about in 2008. I went to, I flew to New York for the Hunger Project Gala, I think, and I had dinner with her. And afterwards, we went for a stroll at Lincoln Center Plaza. So there we were walking around, and both of us said, wouldn't it be great to just sit and close our eyes So we sat at the fountain for like 10, 15 minutes, closed our eyes, and, the Avenue of the Americas, traffic all the in back of us, and people milling around. It was completely noisy, the lights and everything. And when I think all of us have an experience of a few experiences of stillness in our life that we can track to when we want to access stillness and being. Well, that is one of them for me. Because with all the sounds, it kind of went silent because I was a part of all of it. And it was deeply profound for me. And yet it was just 10 minutes with Joan Holmes sitting at that fountain. And I'm just present to it. And I want to say to people, we put in the chat the Planetary Citizens book, and her recommendation is read it, share it with others.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Julia. So I'm going to channel Joan right now. Here's the deal. This isn't hard and it's not complicated. It's just that we've been thinking about our situation and doing things to fix it. And we've totally forgotten to be, to connect to beingness, the web of existence, the mystery of creation, and all there is, past, present, and future. It's like at our fingertips. It's right here. What if we did that as a practice? What kind of difference could that make? Would make, can make, will make. We're on the cusp of a great transformation. So the Planetary Citizens Handbook, it's like a toolkit. It's a guide for our journey, for this new era, this new paradigm, this new global consciousness of interconnectedness. And I offer it to you on behalf of Joan and on behalf of everyone in the world. It's offering to you to share, take it, hold it in your heart, dwell in it, like a poem, like something you love to spend time with, and engage in a dialogue and an inquiry with others. Joan's message to you is the transformation is in you. To share it is the name of the game. Create communities of planetary citizens. We are the masters, all of us on this call. We are the masters of beingness transformation. We've transformed the way people relate to girl children in the world. We've transformed the way women are acknowledged as key change agents for ending hunger in the world. And in the Hunger Project, we took a stand in 1977 that the end of hunger would be an idea whose time has come. We are once again called upon to transform the global consciousness from separation to interconnectedness. We've got this. And as Julia would say, I wouldn't bet against us. I am so grateful to be alive with you in this moment, at this time, on this journey, and I wish you great joy, and I hold you in my heart. And I want to share one of Joan's favorite poems. It's by Rumi. Out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. When the soul lies down in that grass, the world is too full to talk about.
Namaste.
Namaste. Do you have a few minutes?
I'd love to hear from people. And then the other thing I'd love to say is that please use the chat. We want to hear from you. We want to hear what is coming up for you. What do you see? What's opening up? And all of that, we want to hear your voices. So please, please, please use this chat and talk.
Okay.
And I see we have a few hands here.
We'll take 2 shares, and that is Maura. Hi, Maura, and then Melanie.
Hi, Julia. Thanks, Jan. And I'll be real quick. I just was looking again at the handbook, which I just love, the offering of it. And The one thing that pulled up was we are connected at the level of humanity. And I just thought that was perfect for today. So read it and take into your heart whatever works. And that's it. We are interconnected. Thank you. Thanks, Jan.
Well, just what's immediately there for me is this. How do we expand this conversation? And how do we have this event really be a global, annual, exponentially growing event that people come together to celebrate humanity? That's what I'm inquiring around.
Good. Well, Arnold will put the how to get in touch with the I Am Humanity team for everyone who wants to play on this. And Susan will take us home at the end of this half hour and tell us how to engage further.
Yes, and you can express yourself in the chat and we will get back to you, and at info@iamhumanity.net. But now we have the opportunity to move into breakouts. Peter is the one who's hosting this. All right, let's move to Peter.
Okay, thank you, Susan. Melanie, thank you for your share. This really is the beginning of something. When Earth Day started 52 years ago, they didn't know what they were starting, but they're taking a focus on the Earth took hold. And this is a focus on humanity, which, as I said, was never needed before. It's not like people were fools. It's just that the development of humanity, we were still tribes and nations, and now we're one. And the only way we'll survive is developing that way of being. Okay, so I love the interviews here went perfectly, and we're going to do a breakout session on what does humanity want? It's that simple. It's just, what does humanity want? And of course, there's no right answer. And although I have to tell you, as a physicist, I think I have one or two or three or 10 or 20, but ignore that. That's just mind chatter. You might have the same thing. Julia, go ahead.
Sure. Well, very simply, you're going to do this. You will each share, and I think you'll be able to go around several times. This is, as Peter's saying, there's no right answer, but it's designed to spark our brains into new thinking. So, when it's my turn, I'll say, okay, good. I'm looking at what does humanity want? And whatever comes out of my mouth is whatever comes. And then the other two people say thank you. And you go around several times and then stop and just share what you're seeing from this illogical question, just what's coming up for you. All right. And we'll give you, how many minutes do we have?
We'll do 5 minutes this time.
Okay, great. So you got 5 minutes. Have fun.
Oh, that's
very
fun.
exciting.
Wow, it's so exciting. Oh my goodness.
For our agreement.
Teacher, Julia. The group I listened into was amazing, everyone.
Welcome back. We're all coming back. Naomi, it's great to see you.
Oh my God, it's
Rooms
not
will be
Naomi
closing
Hunt.
shortly.
Holy
Muting all now.
I haven't seen you since for.
Hello from New Mexico.
Okay, we have time for a couple of shares. Who would like to share? Raise your digital hand. And Austin.
One of the things is my first memory was when I was 3 years old, I think. I was alone, lying on my back, looking up at the sky, and I knew there was another side to the world. And I knew I was already connected to everybody over there. And as we talked about nature. And each morning I go out and I know there's no separation between me and the squirrels and the trees. Look.
Beautiful, Austin. Thank you. Charles.
I was so excited to go into the breakout room because I thought straight away, you know, when you talk about separation, I'm going, well, one of the things that separates us is the language. You know, I speak Chinese, I speak French, I speak German. How about a whole new language? That's what I got. New language. Come on, let's sort it out.
Thank you, Charles. Justine.
I just wanted to go through a list real quickly in the two of us in our group. Dignity, pleasure, kindness, leadership, effectiveness, planet that works for all, every life singing, all gifts are received, abundance, love, pleasure, forgiveness, ecstasy, excitement of life, fun, beauty, freedom, acceptance, revering one another and all of our differences. That was kind of a list that I quickly wrote as we spoke them.
Thank you for sharing all of those with us.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay, I'm going to turn it back over to you now to bring us home, Susan.
All right. So now what I'd love to do is to invite you to type into the chat what you've gotten out of being here today. And I'm going to stay quiet for just a few minutes while you look and see and jot down and capture what there is that you've gotten out of being here today. So just take a moment.
So I'll read some of it. I am humanity. Love, ease, and peace. It goes too fast.
Gratitude. Kind soul speaking possibility. Connection and new access from Julia. Possibility, joy. Love this place.
Being one. Raising consciousness.
Good. A growing groundswell of humanity's consciousness of our being one.
Peacefulness.
Connection and love, fun. I am humanity really, Mary. Thank you. Clarity, inclusion.
Inclusion for all our differences. I love it.
Beauty.
Well, thank you so very, very much. So I really, really want to acknowledge you and honor you for having come here to look at what it would be like to celebrate humanity all over the world. And it could be in the streets. You know, that's what I see, is that we could be out in the streets. We could have bands on, every street corner. And if you look out next year, and then the year after that, how do we get the word out so that it expands, that we have plenty of people to take this message out there? The Hunger Project, way back when, they used to have this little card. I love this thing. They had a card, that you'd find underneath your seat. And the first question was, are there enough resources to end poverty in the world, hunger in the world? And yes, no. Well, that was easy. There's plenty of resources. Will hunger end in your lifetime? I remember going, wow, am I really ready to own that? And in answering that question, I had a shift right there in that. And the fourth question, I call this the magic box, right? And in that question, it is create your own form of participation. So that is what we want to ask of you, is to really truly create your own form of participation, how you want to take this message forward for yourself. What calls to you? If it does call to you, what is that for you? Invent it for yourself. And we have a few ways, if you're interested in playing this game and expanding it. We have a leadership team. We'd love to have you. There's a few ways to communicate with us. One is in the chat now. The other is info@iamhumanity.net. And then always on the website, you can put in a communication and we'll get back to you. So you can be a part of the leadership team. Then also there's this wonderful opportunity that Peter is offering. What we want to do is October 22nd, Saturday at 1:00 Eastern, we're going to have a monthly global gathering so that we can expand this conversation. One of the things I saw in interviewing people about Humanity Day and what was important is that we don't have the structures to keep the conversation alive. So it's really up to us to keep the conversation going. So October 22nd, Peter is offering a global gathering. We might break out into regions so that each region actually handles aspects of it for your area. And we will send you out an email so that you can join that call if you'd like to. October 22nd, 1:00 Eastern Time. There's another opportunity. We Rise Up documentary is absolutely sensational. It also has the Dalai Lama. Not only all the people that you saw in the trailer that we showed, but the documentary has people from all over the world that want to rise up with us. Rise up, right? Rise up for humanity. In our partnership with them, we're going to be doing a showing of the documentary. Now, the documentary is $4.99, I think. Get it separately, but Kate has promised a code for anyone who's interested among this group. So we will be sending you the information on how to get to that documentary so you can spread the word through showing the documentary in your area too. And now I just love to see Peter. Do you have anything you would like to share? Anything that, as we celebrate our humanity together, any last words you'd like to share with us?
Well, thank you for everyone for being here. Susan, thank you for hosting this and for generating the whole program. And I hope to see people next month. Inventing a new field, we call it a new episteme. You didn't know how to do it. So we get to do it together. So those of you who are interested in adventure and exploring what does humanity want, then let's do it. And there will be a lot of fun. One thing you may have noticed in all of those lists on the chat is they all involved a lot of fun. Or as I tell people about doing my climate restoration work, I'm not doing it if it's not fun. So come back next month and come back next year. And thank you.
And one other thing. So Arnold, we would love to turn it over to you for your last comments, and we would love to share some music and dance. And thank you for being here with us. Now, I also, sorry, Arnold, I'm going to interrupt one more time. There's been a special request from Harvey Austin, and that is that we take a few minutes now and sing Happy Birthday to Humanity Day. So I know it may sound kind of
okay,
but we ask that you take yourself off of mute and that we all actually sing Happy Birthday together.
it's going to sound horrible, but let's
sound horrible.
Let it rip.
Ready?
That'll work.
Totally horrible.
Do we have a key we're going to do it in? What key?
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy day. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy
That was perfect because that's how humanity shows up, right?
Thank you, Marcy. That's perfect.
Oh, who's going to blow out the candle? All right.
We were all one family. Which one?
We're on the surface, but deep down, we're doing
Maybe you dreamt it too. Our family name. Was either kindness or compassion. We recognized each other. And we recognized the light inside us. Somewhere, somehow, some way we must hold back the dawn. While there's still time to try, keep the faith, keep the dream alive. Somewhere, somehow, some way we must hold back the dawn. While there's still time to try, keep the faith, keep the dream alive. I had this dream. Perfect. That we were all one family.
You're welcome to continue dancing with us. It's still 1 minute up. Let's dance. Let's celebrate.
Was either kindness or compassion. We recognized each other. And we recognized the light inside us. Somewhere, somehow, somewhere we must hold back the dawn. While there's still time to try, keep the faith, keep the dream alive. Somewhere, somehow, some way we must hold back the dawn. While there's still time to try, keep the faith, keep the dream alive. I had this dream.
We're on a loop. You're welcome to stay. We're going to keep dancing. Have a great weekend celebrating humanity.
Was either kindness or compassion. We recognized each other. And we recognized the light inside us. Somewhere, somehow, some way we must hold back the dawn. While there's still time to try, keep the faith, keep the dream alive. Somewhere, somehow, some way we must hold back the dawn. While there's still time to try, keep the faith, keep the dream alive. I had this dream, that we were all one family, which war and famine could not.
Thank you. We will see you around the campus celebrating humanity and Humanity Day.
Thank you.
Love it. Thank you, Susan. You're awesome.
Thank you.
Thank
Love
you, Susan.
Thank you. See you around the campus.
Thank you, Peter.
Thank you, everybody.
Wow.
Oh, a dream come true.
Hi, Drew.
Thanks, everyone.
While there's still time to try, keep the faith, keep the dream alive. Somewhere, somehow, some way
Is this our theme song?
I think still time to try, keep the faith, keep the dream alive. I had this dream, that we were.
This is the crew that doesn't want it to end. Thank you so much. This was awesome.
Well, I guess humanity doesn't end, does it?
Oh, just the beginning, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Anahita. Thanks, Anahita.
Bye, New Zealand.
All right.
Bye, Catherine.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay.